This is very important for you to understand how payments are received, how you're going to get paid. So once you select e-file and you're ready to e-file the tax return, you'll go to the e-file section. And then where it says federal refund, this is where you want federal refund to be deposited, okay? When it says refund advantage check, or if you go with another bank, as long as the bank name is first, this means that it is going to be, the refund is going to be sent from the IRS directly to the bank. So in this case, the refund is being sent to Refund Advantage, and the client will receive their payment in the form of a check. The second one is Refund Advantage direct deposit. If they are receiving direct deposit and it's coming through the bank, it'll say the bank name, direct deposit. Where it says Refund Advantage card, this means that the client is getting a prepaid card. So if the client is getting a prepaid card from you, which comes from the bank, you'll select that. And once you select Refund Advantage card, on the next screen, you'll look at the envelope in which you received from the bank, and you'll put that information into the system. Once you put it into the system, that's where the client's refund is going to be direct deposited. If the client was applying for an advance and they are going to receive it check, direct deposit, or card, it would say Refund Advantage check advance, or it say Refund Advantage direct deposit advance, Refund Advantage card advance. Since I'm making this video during the season in which the bank is no longer offering advance, I'm not going to see the options, okay? So let's say that you are e-filing the client's tax return, but they don't want to go through the bank. This is where you'll select e-file paper check or e-file direct deposit. If it doesn't have a bank name in front of it, this means that the check and the direct deposit is going to go directly to the client, which means for you that the client should be paying their tax preparation fee out of pocket to you. So you should receive your money from them, and they're going to receive theirs directly from the IRS in the form of a check or direct deposit. Now, at the bottom where it says paper return and paper return with direct deposit. So this means that you're actually going to send the tax return off in a form of a paper return, and it is going to be mailed. And so if it's going to be mailed, then paper return means that they're going to receive it in the form of a check. If they're going to get direct deposit, it's going to be direct deposit, but that tax return is going to be paper return. Very seldomly should you have a return where it's paper return, okay? So if it's a paper return, you need to let the IRS know why this is not being direct deposited, okay? So we'll say that, let's just say that this one is Refund Advantage card, because I want you to see what a card looks like, okay? So where it says Alabama state return. So on this tax return, the client is receiving a state return from the state of Alabama. So where it says send state through the bank, this means that if the client is going to receive a state return, then if the state return comes through first, your tax preparation fee will come out of the state return amount. So when their federal tax return come through, even though it's still being processed through the bank, it won't come out of the federal because it came through the state, okay? Where you see e-file direct deposit, e-file paper return, paper check. This means that you're going to e-file it, but the state is going to go directly to them in the form of direct deposit. E-file paper check means that you're going to e-file it, transmit it through your system, but they're going to receive a paper check to the address that's on file. Where it says paper return, this means that you are going to prepare the state return, but you're going to mail it instead of electronically file it. And so paper return means that they're going to receive it in the form of a check. Paper return with direct deposit means that it is going to be filed in the form of paper. You're going to mail it off, but they're going to receive a direct deposit. So in this case, we're going to do e-file paper check. Okay. And you press continue. Once you press continue, this is where you make sure that your fees are correct. Okay. So this part here says bank application at the top. Right here is going to say the taxpayer's address. So this should have been imported from the 1040. But if you need to make any changes, then you can. Taxpayer phone numbers. You got to make sure that you have a primary number and a secondary number. Taxpayer's ID. You have to verify their ID. So they have to have a valid form of ID, okay? Which means that it cannot be expired. Okay? And it's going to ask about their citizenship, country. Do you have the 7216 bank consent to disclosure signed by the taxpayer? The answer should be yes. Bank funding message. Would the client like to receive a text message when bank funding occurs? So in other words, when their refund comes in, do they want to receive a text message? More than likely, the answer is going to be yes. So this is where you'll get the client's telephone number on where they want to receive that notification, and that the client agrees to text messaging terms. Okay? Bank verification questions. I normally put the mother's maiden name, and to just keep it simple, I just put the taxpayer's last name. Okay? Where it says card envelope number, this is the prepaid card, because remember, in this scenario, this is where I am entering in the taxpayer's prepaid card that they received from us, from the bank. Okay? Let's see if it'll go through with just these numbers. Must be 13. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Press continue. Oh. I gotta. Okay. All right. So state driver's license is required. So I'm just going to select import from tax return, and it's going to just automatically fill it in for us. Okay. All right. On the submission page, this is where you need to obtain the client's signature. So if the client is sitting in front of you, you can just edit signature and the client will sign on your screen. If the client is not in front of you, then you would need to, let me clear this out. If the client is not sitting in front of you, well, if the client is sitting in front of you, before they sign the tax return, this is where I would go over all of the documents that they are actually signing. So, before they sign. So what you could do is just download the prints. And it should automatically populate. Oops. Sorry. Uh-oh. It should automatically populate. And if the client is not in front of you, you can email them or you can text them the link. You'll select send invite. The invite was sent, and it'll show you the last day that it was sent. And don't forget to send the document to the client. Okay. See how it was sent directly to me, and it said that your portal has been set up. So this is the message that the client will receive. It said, click here to access your portal. So we're going to click here to access the portal. And this is where we would create a username. This is where your client will create a username. Let's see if it would come up, because this information has to match what we have in the system. It said username already taken. So let me do it again. Let's see if this works. Okay, so it sent a code to my phone. So I'm gonna go and try to see if I can get access to it. So the client will go to their phone because they had a code. And this is important for you to know, because you need to know what your client is seeing. So now it said, welcome Dee. And over to the left is gonna say the home page. It says my files, view files, files shared with me. So this is the one that your client needs to click on. The one that says file shared with me. It says view files, okay? They're gonna be able to view the files. Okay? And so this is, they're gonna receive the 8879 form, which give us permission to electronically file their tax return. They're going to have an opportunity to go through the tax return to verify it's correct. They're going to also verify the routing number and the account number to make sure that everything is correct. Okay. Also, they're going to see your due diligence notes, and then also they're going to see how their refund is going to be deposited. So this is the form that you want to really go over. So remember that this client received a prepaid card, right? So this is the prepaid card number that's on the envelope. Your client needs to verify that this number is the same one that's on the envelope, okay? If you go back on the 1040 tax return, you see that there is a routing number and account number here. This is the bank's. This is Refund Advantage routing number. And I'm sorry, this is the routing number and the account number of Refund Advantage. Okay, because remember, since they selected prepaid card through Refund Advantage, that it goes from the IRS to Refund Advantage, and Refund Advantage is going to direct deposit it on this prepaid card that's attached to this number. So this is where you go over their fees. So you let them know, hey, your refund amount is $11,469. Your tax preparation fee is a total of $350. If you can pay the $350 out of pocket today, then you get your full amount of $11,469. If they cannot pay it today and they want to process it through the bank, which more than likely they do, because remember, they received a prepaid card. They can't receive a prepaid card if they are not getting it processed through the bank, okay? So since they're receiving a prepaid card, then all of the fees are going to come out of their refund. And so their expected refund amount is going to be $10,739.05. Remember that these fees can't be changed once they're selected at the beginning of the year. Okay, so they'll agree to this. They'll read through this amount. Remember, you have to give your client an opportunity to read through everything. They have to have an opportunity to pay their tax preparation fee, because after seeing the additional fees that come out of their refund, they may say, you know what, I don't want the prepaid card. I just want to pay the $350 out of pocket. So you'll just go back in the system and you would change the method in which they're receiving their refund, okay? And so if they're going to pay out of pocket, they're not going to receive this bank form, okay? But if they're going to keep it the way that it is, you get them to read over everything. All of this goes to them. They'll read over it. It tells them a little bit more about the prepaid card, tells them about the fees that come from the prepaid card, okay? Then also they'll get a copy of the state tax return. They're verified that the state tax return is going to be sent in a form of a check, and their refund amount is $10,022. If they were receiving direct deposit, remember that the routing number and the account number and the type of account would be selected, okay? All right. And, okay, so once they view it, they're satisfied with everything, they'll go back into the app, and then they will sign it. So this one says signature already on file, because remember I had already signed it, but it'll say signature saved. They'll go back to the home page, and that's it. So if they needed to send me some additional files where it says my files, they can go and upload documents, okay? If they needed to send a message, hey, Ms. D, I have a question regarding my taxes, okay? They can send us a text message, okay? And then this message will show up in the software, okay? So to the left, you'll see the home screen. You'll see my files, okay? This is where my files is the client. I'm the client, okay? Prepare files. These are files that are sent from me where they can view their tax return. And then messages, this is where they can message me, okay? All right. So now we'll go back to the tax return, and you may have to refresh, but the signature may already be there, okay? Let's just refresh it and see what happens. So again, if you wanted to change the method in which they're receiving their federal or their state return, you can always go back and make the changes before the actual transmission. Okay. All right. Okay. See where I re-signed? So the signature is now there. Okay. Everything is complete. I'm going to mark the return as complete. And if you have permission to transmit, you can transmit the return. Or for me, I put some tags in the system. So if someone was working on my team, they can just let me know, hey, this file is missing some information. This file is complete. This one is only an estimate. And I will receive notification of that. Or this return is ready for review. I will receive notification of that. I'll approve it, and then I'll mark it as complete. And again, it's ready to be transmitted. If it's not ready to be transmitted, I'm just going to save and exit. Okay. Hopefully this was helpful.